All right. Coach, you have an opening statement or anything?
Yeah, I
Or?
would like to just go with questions.
Oh, great. Okay. Obviously would have liked to see a better result, but earlier on, you had Layla coming out, hitting the big shots early, starting to get things going. Even though Destiny was in a little bit of foul trouble early, Maya Burns stepped up big. What was working in the first half to get you off to that good start?
Well, I felt like our kids came out ready the first half. If you look at this season, our third quarter has been our Achilles, okay? So we're working on that. But I felt like we hit shots that we didn't make in the second half. And I felt like our offensive execution was better in the first half than the second half. And give Tulane credit. They just kept fighting and figured out a way to pull away.
Yeah, and I was going to mention the third quarter, of course. It seemed like Tulane came out, played a far more aggressive on defense, went full court press. Is that kind of where the struggles began in your mind, or was there something else there I'm missing that was a challenge tonight?
I definitely think the third quarter is where the struggles began. You look at it, the score was 20-6 in points in the third quarter. So we weren't able to hit shots. Destiny, with her fouls, really it doesn't give us any continuity, unfortunately, when she's out. And, we just got to figure it out. I got to go back and just watch that third one and see what happened.
Yeah, and then also there were some turnovers. I think you had 12 on the night. Seven of them were in that third quarter. Do you feel like there were points in the game where they were kind of trying to force passes?
I wouldn't say forced passes. I think there was points in the game where we missed open players, okay, and we panicked and we lost the ball, off a dribble or something like that. And that's where we got to get better at our offensive execution, and that's on us. The coaches will go back to the drawing board. We'll be able to watch this film. We have a couple of days before we go down to South Florida and correct some things.
And credit to both teams in the game here, too. It seemed like shot selection, good shots were at a premium. There was some good defense overall by both sides. I don't want to just dwell only on the negative, but this was a tougher fought game, right?
Yeah, it was. It was some great defense. A couple of our players took charges that usually don't rotate over, so I was super proud of them and sacrificing their body. So I thought both teams defensively did well. For us, it was the offensive execution. And we were able in the first half to be able to talk to our players. They were right there defensively on our side of the bench. And when we are able to do that, our players will talk them through it. And that's where, the lack of chemistry kind of comes in with our team. Is now third quarter, you're away from your coaches. You got to talk and you got to be on that island on your own. And that's where we have to grow, and we will get there. Our players are working hard. And, this is an adjustment for them as well. We have a whole new team and people who haven't played with each other, much in a significant amount of minutes, even in the returning players here. So that comes with time, and we're hoping we'll get everybody healthy and get where we're going, that all of this pays off. And to me, if we learn from our losses, that's a whole nother ball game. And that's what I want from this team. And as long as we learn, because the talent, well, we got the talent. We'll be fine.
Yeah, absolutely. You've definitely had some high moments on the season. I feel like you're trying to avoid being this game in particular, or any of the struggles lately, being kind of the identity of this team. But you kind of mentioned the Nugget too, heading over to face South Florida and the Bulls there. I mean, no question that they're a big part of this conference. One could argue maybe, and maybe
Right.
you agree, maybe you don't, that they're the toughest team remaining on the schedule, and then you'll be in their house. What kind of a challenge does this represent on Sunday, I believe it is?
So, anytime you go to South Florida, it's going to be a challenge. Jose is a great coach. He does a good job. And so anytime you go there, there's going to be a challenge, and we're going to have our work cut out for us. But the good news is that it's a in-state rivalry that we love. And so I'm excited about our players being excited to play. So that's the good news. We just have to go out and do what we do well, and that's creating turnovers on the defensive end and then being able to execute a little better offensively,
And you mentioned the rivalry out right there too. You know I'm going to have to ask about you. That's going to be your first UCF rivalry game with USF as a coach there, or a coach here rather, there in that building. What have you heard about the rivalry, and what have you heard about, or what is it you're feeling where you kind of pick up? You pointed out already, hey, this is the big one. You know this already coming in, even as the new presence here on campus. Just what sort of feelings have you picked up? Who have you talked to about it? What kind of educated you on the rivalry?
A lot has educated me. I'm a basketball junkie, so I've known about the rivalry before I got to here at UCF.
Oh, wow.
Just being a part of the basketball world, so of course I know about it. I've been a part of rivalries as a player and a coach, so I know how important rivalries are. The good news is that we have a couple players that was on that team last year that made a statement, and they know how important it is, and they're doing a good job in the locker room of executing that hey, this is something you come ready to play for. And I'm sure that South Florida is doing the same. So, we're going to tip up the ball and lace up our shoes and go to war.
If there was a bigger thing, if there was a bigger focus in practice leading up to Sunday, what would you say it is right now?
Rebounding is one, and offensive execution. Those are my focuses. We got out rebounded by 3, and that's not acceptable when we have some great rebounders on our team. Some great, one of the best in the country, and so that's on us, and that's getting back to the drawing board. And again, offensive execution, we got to do a better job of that.
Last question.
Oh, actually, no, I'm good. Appreciate it.
Hey, thank you guys.
Great to see you again, Coach.